Hello, good day, everyone. My name is Ropa Alice, and this is Beyond the Raw Leadership Unboxed. Super excited today. I'm joined by Chris. Thank you so much for coming and agreeing to do this. So background, I met Chris on LinkedIn. He made a post that resonated with me. Chief Adult Officer. I think he'll get into that whilst in this conversation. And I just inboxed and I'm like, oh yeah, I saw you made this post. Will you be keen on coming on the podcast? Because the things that you speak to what we talk about on the podcast. And he happily agreed. And tell you what, small world. He also knows my brother. So which became like a whole full circle altogether. And Chris, welcome and thank you so much for agreeing to do this with me.
Thank you, Rob. It's a pleasure.
Sure. Just to get into it, if you were to introduce yourself as if someone was introducing you, what would you say?
I would say that, Chris is he's an electrical engineer, works and started up what's called an MEP firm, engineering firm, and we do the mechanical, electrical, and plumbing for design for data centers. That's all we focus on. So our focus is strictly on the mission critical world. Um, and so that's what I do for a living. But at home, I got a wonderful wife. Been married for just over 20 years, and I got three wonderful daughters. So I'm a girl dad through and through. So that's my home life. But yeah, that's who Chris Sutton is.
That's awesome. So, you mentioned logical. So if your colleagues were to introduce you, maybe in three words, like were to describe you, how would they describe you in three words?
Um, I think one would be loyal. Um, One would be very methodical. Um, and I think a third one, um, I don't know. It's not one word, but it's probably outside the box.
Sure.
So I think I try and think outside the box a lot, just differently.
That's awesome. Can we dive into Chief Adult Officer?
Yeah, so I have a cup, and we did a thing last year to where um, everybody got a nickname. So it's on a cup, and it's kind of part of a Friday tradition around here that we gather around and kind of cheers off into the weekend.
Mm,
Uh, but I was like, we can't just have a cup. We had to have some kind of nickname, and so everybody came up with nicknames. The whole office got nicknames, but obviously the deal with nicknames is you don't get to pick your own.
yep.
And so they gave me mine last, and it said Chief Adult Officer. And that came from I have a phrase. I got lots of phrases that people will probably tease me about, but it's we hire adults to do adult things around here. And kind of the premise behind that is we have flexibility, we have freedom to do things, but when we're hiring people, we're also going to hold each other accountable to do things.
Mm,
And so we're not hiring children here. We're hiring adults to be able to do things. We want to treat people like that. And we have a lot of people that have come right out of college and it's their first job. But we don't treat them like a kid. I mean, they want to be treated like an adult. They went to college. They did all things. And so we have things that are, like we have unlimited PTO policy here. It's, meant for people to take time off and enjoy time. You have to take time off. But
mm,
it's also not meant to take every Friday off either. There are certain parameters and boundaries around it. We still have a flexible, we have a hybrid work policy where Monday, Wednesday, Friday we work in the office. Tuesdays, Thursdays we work remote. But again, it's that's a it's a privilege. It's not a right. And so if people abuse things and aren't doing certain things, then there's a conversation. Same thing with the PTO policy. So a lot of it is we want to treat people like adults here. We have even a policy that, um, everybody signs that we're going to help be held accountable to everything we do. So people in the office, your people are counting on you to get your project or your piece of the project completed, along with people outside the company, whether it's an architect, a structural engineer, they're also counting on you to get things done as well.
yep.
And if you don't, then all of a sudden someone can't complete their job. And so People are counting on us, and so we hold each other accountable to things to make sure um, projects are completed. People are raising their hands to make sure that's taking place as well. Um, then, if you're not, you know, if you know you're not going to make a deadline, then you need to be raising your hand and saying, "Hey, I need help."
Mm,
Uh, and so that's a lot of the premise of that the chief adult officer is kind of we hire adults to do adult things, but we also make sure we're holding each other accountable to things. And
yeah, adults doing adult things. That's a good way of looking at it. And I also like the point where you said you are allowed to raise your hand if things are if you cannot complete things in time. That is something I think that is in certain workplaces is lacking for people to be able to be calling out for help and be saying, "Oh, I'm overwhelmed. I cannot do this by myself. Can someone come and help me?" That is actually, I think, a good thing to do out in the workplace.
oh, absolutely. I mean, people, especially when you're coming out of college, you don't understand, like you don't know what you don't know when you're coming in to an environment.
Mm.
And so no, we don't expect everybody able to get things done. I mean, without help at times. Like,
Yeah.
and the thing is, the person raising their hand this week asking for help because they're overloaded, they can't meet the deadline.
Mm.
Next week they might have bandwidth and their buddies saying, "Hey, I'm slammed." And so it's their kind of, you know, raising your hand, helping your buddy out because we're not looking for lone wolves here too. We want people to kind of be part of a team and work together. That's we're all of us laser focused and accomplish something and working to our target together. We're going to go a lot further than one person going after a target.
Yeah. It's awesome that you're actually practically doing it, which is different from just saying things and not putting them into practice. Um, we moved to CEO. What inspired you from Chief Adult Officer to Chief Executive Officer? What inspired you to pursue your career?
Uh, Honestly, I mean, so I always, I mean, just from being an electrical engineer, I like putting things and figuring out how things worked, and that's kind of how I, ended up in the electrical engineering degree and worked for another company for a while. But then, yeah, I had an opportunity to just kind of, I guess, to start my own thing. And there was a time where all of a sudden I had um, was out of a job and trying to figure out, hey, well, what am I going to do? And then just had started having conversations with you know, people out there and started hustling for things. And really the whole premise was, again, I had three daughters at home and a wife who wasn't working at the time. And so my whole idea was, oh, I just need to do work.
Mhm.
There was no like concept of what could what could this become. It was more bootstraps. It was just, hey, I need to go do work.
Yeah.
And so really early on, there was no like, ooh, I want to be a CEO. I have this grand vision and this idea of like, I can lead a company. It was more, no, it's like I gotta put food on the table. I gotta, you know, support my family, and that was it.
Mm.
So it's spun into a whole lot of other things now, the past 9 years. But yeah, first off, it was just do work was the motto.
Just do work. And I think just doing work is what keeps us going and gets the best out of us in just doing work. And um, it's also the small things that we put into our lives that then pile up to become something big and something great. Like, for
Mm,
example, you have in your own company, like you said, you're just taking in jobs, you're just doing them. So I think that's also encouragement to our listeners to say, at times you might be in a place that is not as comfortable or that you have envisioned yourself to be in. But when there are those small opportunities, it's just taking them and leaving them to feed into something great. And this also speaks to me with what we spoke about before this call. So thank
yeah.
you so much for sharing.
No, but it's true. I think sometimes the actions behind decisions are lacking. That's the hard part, right? Is
Yeah.
someone to actually follow through on something or make the shot or whatever it would be. It's um, sometimes it's the hard part. It's the uncomfortable part.
Mhm. It's it.
Works without actions are dead. I mean, I mean,
It is
So,
indeed. Thank you for sharing that. It's not just speaking to my listeners, it is also speaking to me. Um, what is the biggest challenge, if any, that you're facing today and or right now, and how are you tackling it?
honestly, I think our biggest thing is just trying to figure out we're in a growth stage right now, and so we're trying to figure out hiring the right people,
Yeah.
and because we don't want to just hire to hire and to grow, we're trying to be very systematical in what that looks like.
Mm,
And so, um, I think in the engineering world, there's fewer people that are kind of coming out as engineers, especially the electrical side of things.
mm,
And so I think finding those people are a challenge. We want to grow. But it's finding the mix of new people coming out of college, finding the senior level leadership, stuff like that. And so I think that's our biggest, I think, constraint right now is finding talent and finding, you know, but good people to be willing to join us. Again, we have a screening part that we go through, and we have different surveys we have people take. We have the pledge of that accountability thing that people have to sign and stuff like that. And some people just might not want to, they might not want to be held accountable to certain things, and it might not fit the culture of what we're looking for. I mean, we live by, what the culture is of what the company is, um, because it's so important to me and to everybody here. I mean, we live by some of those values that just that speak to us.
mm,
And if you don't fit, then you don't fit. We'd rather, you know, not mess up a good thing. So we're very picky in what that looks like, which makes it even harder now to find certain people.
mm,
Uh, but I'd say that growing and staffing is probably our biggest challenge at the moment.
mm. That's Yeah, it's quite a thing because also um when you're on the other side in the job market, you're just like employment is hard to find. And also you're on the side of hiring and you're saying it's hard to find that talent. Um Maybe I'll then delve into what is it that a person has to do for them to stand out? What is it that
Mm.
one, um, yeah, it's a cringy question, but what makes one stand out for them to be that person? We like a hiring manager looks at it and be like,
Yeah, so I don't know. I feel like I'm probably not the norm asking that question too, because I look at things differently. I mean, I was just at a career fair a couple weeks ago, and feel like I was asked this similar questions, or I had someone say, "Hey, can you look at my resume and can you give
yeah.
me feedback on it?"
Mm,
And I'm not the person to ask to give feedback on a resume. I'm an engineer. You want real feedback, probably go to see someone in the business school. But when I'm looking at even resumes, I'm looking at, hey, what else did you do besides classes? Great. What are your extracurriculars? What did you do something outside? Um, yeah, I want to see the classes, stuff like that. GPA is the last thing I look at. I think the things that stand out to me are actually when I'm interviewing someone, the questions they have for me. I think being inquisitive uh, is such a big deal. And all of a sudden, if someone's interested in me, and I think that's the misnomer on a lot of things when people think they're getting interviewed, and whether you're coming out of college or whether you're been out of college for 10 years and you have a career already,
mm,
interview is a two-way street.
mm-hmm.
I'm interviewing you to see if you fit with, what I think would you be a good fit with the company.
Yep.
You're doing the same thing on the other side. You're interviewing me to find out if you think you would fit well within the company as well.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe you're like, I don't want to work for that guy. All right, well, okay, then that's fine. We'd much rather make sure we have that understanding up front, but
Oh, yeah.
it's a two-way street when an interview is taking place.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and so really, I think those are some of the things I'm looking for is maybe what do they do? What are some of the passions? Because your passion can't just be engineering. I mean,
Yeah.
yes, we like that, but what else do you like to do? I mean,
Mm-hmm.
do you do you play an instrument? Do you have a sport you play? I mean, um, what are some of your passions? Like I'm in Dallas, so we do ask now because what their favorite football team is because I'm a Dallas Cowboy fan through and through. I don't know why I'm still a Cowboy fan, to be honest with you. They've let me down for many, many years, but somehow we let an Philadelphia Eagles fan in here, and I still wonder how that happened. And so we have fun in our interviews. We ask certain questions. We ask things to get people talking and get to know
Yeah.
them because that's a big piece to it. I mean, we'll ask the technical side of things, but we also want to get to know the person behind the degree too.
Beyond the role.
There you go.
Beyond the role. Have you ever had a time when data said one thing and your intuition was saying another? You said you're a logical person, and how have you navigated around that?
Um, there's definitely been things in my career where they've kind of like terrified me, scared me, or whatnot. I wasn't real sure why, and I think there's a grit to doing certain things, being a business owner, and you're like, data doesn't make sense. This doesn't make sense. And I'll tell you, there were several years ago where all of a sudden I was like, man, this is gonna be a rocky year. I had this sense about it's gonna be a rocky year.
Mhm.
Um, but my faith plays a lot into that too.
Um,
I walked in that year just felt calm about it, knowing that it's going to probably be a crappy year, but completely was like, no, he's got this.
mhm.
And that's just it was no, I mean, data was like, man, this is it's not going to be fun, but it's this is I knew it was going to be okay.
Mhm.
So, and I think that's part of the grit too of just being willing to push through some of those things.
Mhm.
Uh, that can be challenging at times, and it's not easy. It's not
Yeah.
for the faint of heart.
Yeah, not at all. Um, so resilience is a word that we hear a lot and in several professions. And I'm sure with CEOs it's more there's more of resilience that is required. And what does resilience actually mean to you in practice?
I would say that resilience, without disappointment and failure,
Mhm.
isn't a word.
Without disappointment and failure.
Resilience, I mean, y- it's not a word if that doesn't come before, right? Because you have to have some kind of failure, some kind of disappointment to be able to push through and get through it. And so so resilience is not a word without disappointment and failure
Mm-hmm.
that comes before it. So, like I said, there's just the grit behind things to be able to push through, knowing that, hey, all right, I got to figure out how to make something work.
Mm.
The people that don't really understand certain things, being a business owner, sometimes, leaders eat last.
Yeah.
Sometimes they might not take a paycheck. Sometimes things might happen to where, no, we take care of the employees, think of others first.
Mm.
At least that's how I look at it. That's my mindset. Like, and so there's times that, you got to do hard things.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I think that's how I look at resilience.
You have
It's
to,
doing hard things, having the grit to kind of go through it.
you have to go through some hard things and overcome them.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah. Um, there's a what's the common misconception or myth about CEOs that you wish people understood, or business owners, or electrical engineers?
I think as business owners, I think people a lot of time think, oh my gosh, they're doing it to just make a lot of money.
Yeah.
Um, and I, and I'm sure there are definitely cases out there like that. I mean, big corporate CEOs, all that stuff. But I mean, as far as from other people I know that I've been hanging, around with, it's not always the case. I mean, yes, that might be a side benefit. Hopefully, at some point in the future, that happens for everybody, right? But um, there's a lot of hard work, sleepless nights. There's, putting people first, building a team, um, you know, doing. I really enjoy doing this to build something. I don't get to engineer project as much anymore, so now I feel like I get to engineer and figure out how to build a team, build a culture, build a company. What does that look like? And I think that's the the real fun part of things. So putting people first and figuring out how it all works together.
Hmm.
Uh, I think that's people don't understand that from a business owner standpoint. It's they're looking out for everybody. And I mean, my mindset too is when if we're looking to hire someone, I'm not hiring one person.
Hmm.
I'm hiring that person and their family.
Yeah.
And there's a responsibility on that. And that weighs on me to make sure, no, we gotta for some reason, everybody still wants to get paid every 2 weeks, and we want to make sure that happens. And so it's being a good steward of things, being making sure that I'm doing my job to make sure that we're managing things,
Mhm.
manage well, bringing work in to be able to support people.
Yeah. No, that's awesome. That's a great way of looking at it. If you're hiring a person, it's not just that individual, it's their family as well.
Yeah.
Um, I've seen that with marriages. I thought it's the African marriage is only way, like you say, if you're marrying someone, you're not marrying that individual, you're marrying the entire family as well. Because
That's
with
probably a whole other
African
podcast at that point.
what's that?
That's probably a whole other podcast at that point.
Yeah. Um, who has been your most important mentor and what did you learn from them?
I don't want to say his name because I feel like if I do, he's going to get a bigger head than he already has. And so I don't know if I need to do that. But I've been a part of a group called Vistage, which is a CEO group.
Mhm.
And so we meet once a month, and then he's my business coach. Um, and so we meet once a month, and then I meet with him one-on-one once a month as well. And so the group itself has probably 16, 18 other CEOs in other industries. So none of them are engineers in there, but they're a bunch of all kinds of other industries. And so we meet, have someone that's in leadership, some kind of leadership uh, speaker of some sort, and then we have just the other 16 of us kind of hang out and we talk through things and talk through issues or opportunities, whatever it might be that's going on in companies, just to kind of
Mhm.
you know see how we can help each other out. And that group has um, no vested interest in the company other than to see you and the company do well. And so there's unbiased opinion just natural feedback. So I would say just it's probably not just the business coach himself, but I would think it's the entire group of those people and be able to just kind of walk in life and help bounce ideas off of, come up with ideas. And I'm not a business guy by any means. I went to school for engineering degree, and so I've never done some of the stuff, some of it's on the fly. But you also start realizing, yeah, so did everybody else.
Mhm.
And just because you got to get a business degree doesn't mean you can be a business owner either. I mean,
Yeah.
so um, so yeah, I think it's not just the one person. I think it's the entire group.
Mm. So if you don't mind me asking, going into, because I had this question of how you balance between you having a background in engineering and now you have a business. Um, Can you walk us through on how that journey has been like? It, we have a business and you have to be running it, and you're also on top of just running the business, you also now have people that you're responsible for. It's not just a few people, but it's people also in different places. You have offices in different places, and they are different with the US, which I didn't know, which we don't have back home. There are different rules and regulations with the different states. So, how has that been navigating around that?
So, interesting for sure. Because obviously, like I said, I didn't know some of the things. I mean,
Mm,
P&L spreadsheets and stuff like that. I knew what they were, but I didn't just study them and all things and figure them out. But honestly, it's my my dad had a phrase growing up. I mean, and it's one of the things that he said all the time. You know what you don't know. And I feel like as a son, I kind of added to it is know what you don't know, but surround yourself with other people that do. And so it comes from a concept to do of a kind of a who, not how mentality. So find the people that are in things that understand, accounting,
Yeah.
better than, you do. Find
Mm,
the people that, find if you don't know what it is or how it works, then go find someone. So go find an accountant, go find an attorney, go find um, a financial advisor, find these people that you can, that's what they do. That's what they went to school for. They're experts at that.
mm,
Um, find someone that understands regulations between different states and how that all works. Um, it's finding those people that can help understand things because I don't need to go be an expert at that. It's not my forte, and I don't need to be an expert at everything. So find the people that are experts at that and bring them to the table.
mm. That's actually a good trait. I think that also our listeners need to pay attention to that you cannot do it all by yourself. And
No.
I'm forgetting what the phrase is exactly, but someone who knows better than you is no threat to you. Um,
Mhm.
because you cannot know everything like you said. So
Yeah.
it's actually a good trait to have that ability to um, give other people a chance to do their work and just um, letting it go.
Yeah. No, and I mean, I think that's a lot of people will think knowledge is power, right? There's a mentality. I mean, and I mean, heck, even one of our core values is collaborative. And we kind of say the phrase with that is, be curious with what you don't know and generous with what you do. So there has to be the ability to where you can, knowledge isn't meant to be power to hold over people. It's meant to share. And
Where
so I think that's a big piece of that, like kind of what you're saying. Um, don't hold it over people.
be curious with what you don't know. I like that. I like that. Thank you so much for sharing that. I think I might be speaking on behalf of other people or other people that I've worked with who had struggled with letting go of responsibilities and roles in the maybe in their mind they thought this person might be a threat to my job, but
Sure.
um, if we do it together, we might actually be great. You never know. So it's important to give people a chance for them to showcase what they went to school for, like as you rightfully mentioned, and not holding things to yourself because you wouldn't know everything.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's amazing. Um, if you were to meet your younger self today, what would you tell them?
Um, I, I think one of the things that I'd probably tell them is get into some of the rooms that I've got into sooner, and I probably tell myself that even more now. I feel like just some of the rooms where it's like, oh, I don't belong in these rooms or I'm not learning, but like get into some of those rooms where like you can actually learn.
Mm-hmm.
Because I don't know, for me, I learn by doing. That's just who I am. So I think taking some of those risks and getting out there sooner.
Yeah.
Um, and I think one of the things that I'm trying to always become is a better a better question asker, to where I just ask, I don't know, that's one of the business coach, he's really good at doing that. And so it's like, how do I become better at that?
Mm-hmm.
Um, so I think trying to figure that out and also get in some rooms that sooner, make some of those risks sooner.
Mm. So if you're to maybe give advice to someone who's stepping out of college today, this coming May, electrical engineer, what advice would you give to them?
It's simple. If you're getting out of college and I don't, it's electrical engineer or if it's anybody,
Mm.
you're walking into a world that you have no idea what the company is.
Yeah.
So just go in curious, ask questions. You don't know what they do. You don't know what software they use. Even if they use Excel, you don't know how they use Excel
Mhm.
or email or Word documents. They have a process. So you go in now. Don't act like you know everything. Go in very curious, open-minded. There's gonna be people there that have been there for 1 year, 3 years, 20 years.
Mhm.
They've been in the industry for a long time. Pick their brain, understand how things work within the company or even with the industry that you're going into.
Mhm.
Uh, and I think we tell that to even our interns at this point. You don't know like what you don't know. You're coming in and we're going to teach you.
Mhm.
You went to college to learn how to learn. So take that knowledge and now understand we're going to now refine that into a skill set that's very specific to what we do.
Mm,
And so we want to teach you that if you are willing to learn. So go in open-minded and be willing to learn.
go on, be open-minded and be willing to learn. Be as inquisitive as you can. So
Absolutely.
I'll keep asking questions. Um, do you like reading books?
Uh, the answer was used to be no. I hated reading books.
Um,
I just, but then I don't know, the past, I don't know, probably 5, 6 years, that's probably changed a lot. Except my daughter, I've tried to get her to read one book. She's like, absolutely not. I mean, because all my books are leadership books. They're all business books. They're all how do I be a better, business owner or a leader? I mean, so that they all kind of revolve around that. Um, so yeah, so now my wife jokes that, you know, you didn't read your books. Now we're going on vacation. You're sitting on the beach reading a book, whatnot. I'm like, oh, yeah, it's the time I can actually like sit down and actually just, think about it.
mm.
So,
Oh, that's awesome. What has been your favorite or your life-changing or one that stands out?
um, there's been a few. I would say there's a whole series there's a book called Who Not How and Gap in the Gain. I mean, I think those are great books.
Hmm.
But I think one of my favorites might have been it's a book called Unreasonable Hospitality.
Okay.
And it's about a guy that owns a restaurant, and he had a quest of him becoming the number one restaurant in the world.
Mm,
And it's so fun. I mean, it makes no sense for an engineer to like that book. It seems like because it's like, hey, it's restaurants, it's hospitality, it's service. But then what we do, we're also a service industry. We serve clients.
yeah.
And I think that was kind of started making sense to me. I mean, there's a lot of times where it's like people would ask, hey, what's your why?
Mm,
Which is such a simple question, but there's some depth to it if you read from, what is my why?
mm,
And I think that's where I started kind of figuring it out. And I think that's where this game changed. And I started realizing that the why is of what I do
mm,
is how do we become unreasonable in what we do? How do we become hospitable in what we do? How do we treat our clients, not like clients, but like customers? How do we have those relationships and just serve them well?
mm,
We don't need to be the biggest engineering firm in the country by any means, but we could be the best. We
yeah.
could be the best that serves our clients. We could be the best at our standards, at our drawings, and everything else we do. So how do we become the best at it?
The
Well,
best.
I think that becomes where you start having a higher bar of what you're looking for.
Mm,
And so it was and I think that's the other thing is now I read the books instead of just reading the book. It's now trying to figure out how do I read the book, take the things I learned from the book and apply them and actually put them into action
mm.
and some of those things. So yeah, now I read books, takes notes or highlight on things. So yeah.
That, that's insightful. Thank you for sharing that to our listeners. This is how to become a CEO. Exactly this. Take notes. Take notes.
Yeah.
So beyond your title, what legacy do you hope to leave?
I mean, first off, I'm hoping that I raised three beautiful daughters and understand just what it looks like to go after your dreams and that they understand that they can do whatever they want. They can, if they want to be a business owner one day or whatever that looks like, that they know that they can do that. So I mean, that's number one legacy, just raising three beautiful daughters to just become independent and follow their dreams. From a business standpoint, uh, I think legacy wise, it kind of I don't know. I want to be known to have one of the best engineering firms in DFW and beyond. Something where people can feel like they can um, grow beyond. The company can be big enough that if they have dreams and aspirations, that they can figure out what that looks like, become who they want, grow within the company. Um, that we're building future, leaders in the engineering world. I mean, heck, if someone leaves here and starts their own business at some point in the future, I mean, I think that's a compliment more than anything. It's not competition; it's a compliment. Um, so yeah, I think the legacy is just more of, you know, being able to just watch other engineers and other people grow and flourish within this company.
Mhm. I love this for you. Um, if you can complete this sentence for me, success beyond the role means.
Success beyond the role.
Mm,
Um, I don't know. I mean, uh, I think it kind of ties all back into that. It's more of just than just success for me. It's
yeah.
watching other people grow, watching other people actually get inspired, want to be an engineer, want to be kind of doing what we do, being something bigger than of yourself, right?
Mhm.
So I don't see success for me. It's like, how do we succeed together?
I like how you look at this in not in terms of being individual, but in terms of community and society. And it's not just about me, it's about growing together
Hmm.
because the cake is bigger and it's big enough for, for everyone.
Yeah, yeah.
Which is something rare coming from a CEO because CEOs are like, it's mine, and I'm taking it. So
Yeah. That's probably, I mean, and yeah, that's probably true for some, but I think I met a lot that are not quite like that at all.
yeah, no, thank you for clearing that misconception because we thought you're all the same. We thought you're all the same. So now we move to the fun segment.
Okay.
What's the funniest mistake that you made in your very first job?
Um, I don't know if I had a funny mistake. My very first job was still in high school. I was working at a bookstore, and so I don't really have any. I don't know if I had a funny mistake working at the bookstore. It was a pretty chill job. I mean, I remember people calling asking for weird books that we didn't have and stuff like that. But I mean, it was a Christian bookstore. I remember them calling asking for like if we had Jurassic Park or something like that. I'm like, oh no, we don't have. That's not. No, we don't have that book. So, but I don't have any funny mistakes. I can't think of.
Mm. Can you describe the most surprising thing that happened in maybe in your career or in any job that you've heard?
Most surprising thing. I mean, just going to the first job I had. I remember had my first wreck in the parking lot at that job because someone just was cutting through the parking lot as I was leaving and just rear-ended me, and I was like, "What the heck?" So like, as I'm 16 or whatnot, I'm getting a wreck, but it's in a parking lot as I'm leaving, closed up the shop today. That
Yeah.
night, I'm getting a wreck. So that was,
Oh goodness. Yeah.
but yeah.
What's a job that you've always wanted growing up?
Believe it or not, I mean, I think growing up, I always enjoyed how buildings looked and how they got put together and something like that. And so I always had a fascination just architecture in general, which is funny now because now I'm on the other side because I didn't know growing up, I didn't know that this engineering side existed. I didn't know this MEP world was a thing. So now we work with architects all the time. And so, I mean, we do the mechanical, electrical, and plumbing stuff that goes into, these buildings.
Yeah.
And so it's funny, it's now just the engineering behind the building, not just the architectural piece of my building. So yeah.
But at least you get to still experience it.
Right, right.
Um, what task were you always assigned as a child?
So say it again. That's what
What task were you always assigned, like at home as
task.
a child?
Um, I know. I mean, I had all the simple chores, to mowing the yard, or
Mm,
taking the trash out and something like that. But I know when we would go on trips, I would always be the one that was the navigator. Um, so going on a trip or walk around, a country or something like that, I was always have the map and I would just navigate. I mean, I was 10 years old navigating ourselves around, walking around Europe at times, and so that was something I got tasked with. It seemed like I just enjoyed it, so they just gave me the map and said go. So,
was yeah, so that was back in the day, like when you be using the paper maps or
oh yeah, it was all paper maps. Yeah, it wasn't Waze and Google Maps and stuff like that back then. It was all actually had a paper map and fold it up in your back pocket and keep walking. So,
in
absolutely, absolutely.
working. Um, would you rather be famous or anonymous in your field?
Man, uh, I think privacy is this a very quiet luxury, and
Mm,
so um, I'm not in this again for myself.
yeah,
I would love to kind of be able to inspire other people if possible, but I don't know, famous comes a lot to be famous. Like there's a
yeah.
lot that goes with it, and I like my privacy for sure. So
Mm. But the other best way to inspire is being famous, though.
yeah, but yeah.
Yeah, I get you. Would you rather have a perfect memory or able to see into the future?
Ooh, I I like history. I feel like I can learn so much from everything where I've been. As much as sometimes it's been like, oh, I never want to relive that again. It's shaped who I am, and so um, knowing those things and kind of how it all happened and remembering those things in great detail, I think that's um, maybe it's because I've been in the doing this for 20 years and stuff like that. Maybe I just see it on this side of things, but I
Mm,
don't. I feel like there's a lot to gain from the history of and where I've been and where we've been.
mm. Oh yeah, our history really helps to shape who we also then become in the future again.
Yeah, yeah.
Mm. Um, would you rather take a lot of small risks or one big one?
Give me singles all day long.
Singles.
Sorry, I like sports references a lot. And so if I'll take the smaller risk, I think that's just who I am. I'm definitely more of a risk taker nowadays than I was probably 10 years ago. But I'm probably taking if I can take a bunch of singles instead of home runs, I'll do that.
You do that.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you so much for sharing all this with me and spending time here and sharing all these great insights. These are things that some people actually pay to get. So I really appreciate I really appreciate you taking time and sharing all these insights and nuggets with me and also our listeners. Um, is there a question I missed that you wish I had asked you today?
Oh, um, I don't think so. No, not that I can think of.
Nothing can come to mind. Um,
No.
so thank you very much. Thank you so much for coming through, and I really appreciate you taking time. And to our listeners, thank you for catching on to this episode and looking forward to the next one. Do not forget to like, share, and subscribe. Till the next one.